All right, what's up? What's up? Welcome back for another recap video. Today we're going to review the stocks traded today, BTAI, which was the primary stock trading today. This one had some news for positive findings or positive, I wouldn't say results, but they say positive findings on a trial, phase 3 trial site. So phase 3 is pretty significant in any biotech or therapeutic company. Drugs rarely ever reach phase 3, and any positive news on phase 3 is usually a pretty decent catalyst. But the way they worded it, it wasn't quite positive. It was positive findings of a phase 3 trial site. So not exactly what we're looking for. That would make a really big move with some nice momentum. But we did see some decent action on BTAI. However, it was very, very choppy. A lot to get stuck in, which results in the day that I'm finding today, down 50. So small, kept it very small, very happy with that. You know, I'm pretty much unaffected by it. Just focusing on developing my system, improving my system, and the results will come. That's really the only thing I can do. I can take what I can find during the trading session, and then after hours or when I'm done trading, just review the results, and try to refine until everything is a lot clearer. So BTAI, I kind of saw this around up in this area when I sat down around 7:15, 7:20. We were pulling back. I was able to catch a nice couple entries here off of this area. I can pull up my trades. I'm still on very, very small size. Just my past month, my profit factor has been flat. My estimated value on the day has been flat or slightly negative. So until that can start to turn around, I'm going to be sticking with small size, just for sheer, risk, from a risk management perspective. I don't want to be digging myself a massive hole that I need to dig myself out of. I want to maintain and keep the profits that I worked hard on. So unless things start turning around, I think it's best to keep doing what I'm doing here until I see some better results. But I was able to time a couple dips on this area. So 315, kind of just catching the dip off the low here, this previous bounce area. And we got a decent bounce back up through VWAP. I was able to sell some at 316.5 and 320 and 318. Kind of just selling between 315 and for a break even and up to 320. So kind of like a small gains on that one, and we pulled back again a little more. And here I was looking at this point, I was in at 309. I was waiting for this candle to kind of get bought back up and break through the high, but I was a little bit too soon. I should have been a little bit more patient on this one, on this entry. Ended up coming back a little bit farther down, and I actually added to the position at 302, trying to find some support at $3. And we didn't quite get that significant bounce that I was expecting, especially off this previous high, this previous breakout area. I thought we'd have a significant bounce almost immediately, but we didn't quite get that significant bounce, so I did take a small loss on that one. We pulled back a little bit farther. This red candle on a significantly lower volume than this previous candle, especially after a significant drop in the stock price without any sort of significant bounce or consolidation. So we could potentially be seeing that reversal to retest VWAP before deciding what we're going to do next, whether if it's going to continue a backside or consolidate or move higher. This would have been a great entry, but I did miss it, and it came back up to test the 1 minute candle, make a new high. Previous 1 minute high is at 301, or was it 302, 303. So 302 would be a good entry, but ideally you want to see that break of 303, and then you can see a move up to the next 1 minute candle or to the 90 MA, which is what I kind of did here. I got in at 302, 302.5, catching that break of 303, which is this candle here, this previous green candle, and I was able to get out at 305. So quick scalp, quick scalp. But that was the first target. The first target would be taking profit on the first 1 minute candle here to break out. But the second target would be VWAP. The second target would have been VWAP, and I could have, if I was a little bit, looking for a longer hold time, which I should have in this situation, was take off half and let the half ride until VWAP. Or, if they're going to come back down to 3, and then I maybe could stop out for break even or for small gains. I let that ride to VWAP, and that wouldn't be the second target. That would have been a really good area for that. We did end up chopping around here. This was actually a really good trade as well. So we consolidated. We made a higher low here. So we made a low here, higher low here. We had a bunch of chop here, which could potentially be some trapped shorts in this area if we can retest that area, which is what I was expecting. And we popped back over VWAP and caught this dip here. It was a little bit early, 321, a little early on this. I let it kind of give it some room. My backstop was VWAP. If it was breaking below VWAP, I was taking a loss. I could have actually added lower to this position, but I was actually still a little nervous. I was a little nervous it would come back down below VWAP. But it did end up working in my favor, and in my head I was like, I'm either going to sell over 325, which is this previous candle, and all of these other previous candles. I was even going to sell over 305. I was going to stop out below VWAP. It ended up breaking 325 here, and I was able to kind of scale out my position between 325 and up to 330. And then from there, looks like I sold my last portion, 7 shares for 318. Slight loss there, but that's okay because most of my exit was there at the high. So that was a very good trade. Ideally, I was looking for a move up to the high. That's why I was kind of scaling out, and I let that last portion kind of stop out on the day. We did curl back up, and now it's starting to be like very, very choppy. Here I'm kind of anticipating the break of the highs, and these are the entries that are very tricky because you don't want to get in too high because if it does risk the false breakout, you're looking at a pretty massive loss if you can't get out in time. But then again, if you're not getting in, then you could be missing out on some massive upside as well if it does break out and break out strong. So these are very tough entries. I've always found myself, very anxious near the highs, especially, buying into extended green candles towards the highs. But, some of them are my best profits. Taking a starter, looking for the anticipation of the break through the high and adding through the high. But you also have to remember what kind of market we're in. This type of market is not really favorable for that type of setup. So that's why it's a little bit struggling on those levels there, as you can see. We had a high here, retest, fail, finally breaking through, and then just completely rejecting those levels. But yeah, in here, I took my first position at 339. I was like, all right, it's looking good. It's going to retest the highs, it looks like. So we'll just put in the starter. Maybe I'll add towards the highs if it's still strength. I ended up taking off break even, getting back in on this pullback at 338. Selling half for pretty much break even, small gains, and then added for the previous break of this candle high at 340 and selling at 341, 342-ish. Again, small gains, didn't quite break through the highs, and now we're kind of just consolidating. And I was trying to, in this area, I was pretty much trying to time the break of the high, and we never got it. And I'm just kind of either selling for break even or for a small loss to kind of manage my downside risk. And once I'm trading up in this area near the highs, it's all about timing. For me, it's just timing that breakout. And if I were to hold for that whole period of time, just like, I know it has to happen, right? The breakout, we curled all the way back up near the highs, it has to happen. So why don't I just hold from, my first entry? I could be caught in this candle here and just get completely demolished. And this candle happened almost immediately. It's similar with this candle as well, which I did get caught in, which we'll show in a second. 338, this is another nice dip. reclaim. I thought this was going to be it. We popped up, and I was actually looking to add instead of sell. So I was kind of being patient. I was ready to add for the breakthrough to highs on this candle here, but we pulled back and pretty much closed the candle kind of flat, so I took it off for break even. So that was also unfortunate, and definitely a sign that it's a week near the highs. We ended up flushing back down, curling back up. Now I'm like, okay, this has to be it. You know, this is another higher low. We just made a higher high and a higher low. You know, this could be it. Our cup and handle pattern right here, beautiful. And I thought this is going to be it. And I take my first position in 39, and then adding, you know, up to 700, 800 shares for the breakout, and trying to time this breakout here. And next candle shows up and then just immediately teleports down to this area. And that just completely sucked. Pretty much took a 10-cent loss right there. Yeah, selling at 333 from 342 to 333. That put me negative 70 on the day. Curled back up, and I was like, I had to go for it. It actually looked pretty good. This candle was closing near the highs, whereas never closed before. So previously, as you can see, these green candles never closed above this level. We always had topping tails. Now this candle does close above this level. And so that's where I got sort of aggressive there and bought about 1,000 shares, broke through the high, and was scaling up off the breakout. And I was able to make a good chunk of my losses back. At the open, we had a dip and rip. This was a great setup as well. We did have that $3 whole dollar support, especially after it's a little bit oversold from the highs, all the way coming back down near the lows, which we did have some significant support on. Maybe I should pull this off here. Take off this. So we did have some significant support in this area. Previous resistance, now support, which now looks like it respected that support level. And looks like we're respecting some support in this area, and now we're respecting some support there. And so now we're opening near some support levels. I was a little bit anticipating a break below 3 and seeing like a more of a capitulation flush and then a reclaim, but we kind of just quickly did a micro pullback and ripped up. I was able to catch maybe like 2 cents on it, but it was definitely a better setup. You should have definitely had a little bit of a longer hold time on it, since it did have a good risk to reward. You know, if you put your stop like near these lows here, maybe you're risking like you're risking 10 cents, and in 2 minutes you got a good, you know, you got a good 25 cents. So you're risking 10 cents for 25 cents. That was definitely a good trade to be getting in on that first 1 minute candle, dip down to $3, and then it popped back up, you know, scaling back up and scaling out as it's extending. But I did miss it. And then from there, I was definitely skeptical because of these previous false breakouts, and I knew that, you know, we had some significant supply and some significant either shorts or just sellers in general. Even if you look at the daily chart, it's just completely just sellers taking over. A lot of overhead resistance. You know, couldn't even break this area here. Should be that first, you know, candle, first high candle, relative high to break, and for a pivot point back to like a sort of like a front side or beginning of a front side, but we couldn't even break that area. And you know, it just showed that this stock just has a lot of sellers on it. We never really got a retest of the highs. You know, if we did kind of close up above this level, you know, you never know. You know, you never know. There could have been some shorts again trapped in that area. Could have squeezed out a little bit more. But holding those highs, likely not. But yeah, we did see that dip down here. You know, kind of had like a little bit of flag pattern or pennant pattern here, and then breaking down, and that was pretty much it on BTAI. So, you know, as you can see, choppy, challenging. I hope you guys, you know, did well on this. A lot to get caught in. Definitely a tough market. One of the tougher markets I've traded for sure, but I've been here before, and it always turns around. Market always recovers, and market always comes back And I'm always a better trader because of the struggle that I go through. So I'm not worried, and I'm just working on improving every single day. And this market is definitely teaching me a lot. It's teaching me a lot about being a little bit more intentional with my studies, not just kind of showing up trading, barely reviewing my trades, maybe reviewing my live recordings, but not really intentionally, kind of just mindlessly watching it and then shutting down my computer and coming back tomorrow. There's a lot more you could do. And that's why I kind of started this daily report card, which is making me more intentional with my studies. So kind of fleshing everything out on every single stock that I trade. Really just detailing my setups on the day, how I traded, my goals on the day, or the goals that I'm working on, how well did I achieve those goals, what I'm working on, details of the daily chart, details of the news, details of the float, everything that I can kind of flesh out of every single stock that I traded, just so I can have a good solid database for me to review. And just the action of writing things down definitely makes you explore the chart a little bit more than just looking at it, with just observing. Something about writing it and analyzing it and really writing it down kind of makes it make a little bit more sense, more understanding of why you did the certain things that you did, and also a more understanding of your strategy. And that was the one problem that I was having, is I didn't really have an understanding of my own strategy or what I was doing. And so that caused me a lot of indecision and unconfidence in the markets, which is holding me back. And so this is going to help me have a little bit more structured strategy and more defining strategy that's, I can define proper entries and proper exits, and that'll help me in the live trading session, because I'll be able to respect the structure, respect the entries and the exits, and not just kind of be just blindly buying and selling momentum based on feel or based on intuition fully, but also following a structured system that is proven to make money over the long term. So that's what I'm trying to do here. But that's it. Yeah, I'm reviewing my charts, my entries and my exits, some of the better trades on the day. The easy money trades, definitely key. You definitely want to review the easy money trades every single day, because those are the trades that are going to make you the most money, and those are the trades you want to size in the most. So you definitely want to understand the easy money trades more than any other setup. And what are those easy money trades for you? Because they're going to be different for everyone. Some traders are going to be different at one thing, and some traders are going to be different on another setup. So these are all very important. You guys can check this out, Daily Report Card. It is public on Trade Journal. You guys can just check out, you can just go to my profile here, Triad Trading, or you can go into the search, go into community, go to search, Triad Trading, and you can come down to my Triad Trading portfolio, and that will be in my posts or my recent posts. You guys can check that out. Hopefully that gives you some inspiration to start your own daily report card. But yeah, that is it. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hit that thumbs up button. Hit that subscribe button if you're a new viewer. Join the Discord. Check out those links down in the description. And I will catch you guys tomorrow. Get some rest. Peace.